All right, it is Monday, November 13th. It is now about 1:25, getting to this review video late. Not a good day for me. I had four losses today, one win, and my PA accounts, I traded two PA accounts today, down $381. And on my evaluations, down $1,928. And I changed some things up today. So I'm going to have to explain what I've done. But for anyone new, this is where I'm just documenting my trading journey. Not going very well lately. The past 3 weeks or so has been really rough. This is the beginning of my ninth week on YouTube. Have all my stats here. And, at one point, not too long ago, my stats were high 80, almost 90%. And just in the course of 3 weeks, I've taken a lot of losses. And especially, I just started trading the PAT strategy again, and it is not going well for me at all trading that strategy. 43%, 3 and 4 right now. My strategy too has really come down overall. In the mid 70%, 76% overall on my strategy, and only 72% overall since the beginning of YouTube, 14 and 16. So things have really taken a turn for the worse lately. I kind of just have to laugh because, I think it's just part of trading, but also I think I've just been kind of off lately. The one thing I can say about today is that um, I came in today saying that I was going to be aggressive, and if I see a trade, I'm going to take it. And I did that. And I think that is good for me overall. I think the last few weeks, ever since a few weeks ago when I took 5 losses in 1 week, and it was my first red week, it's been kind of downhill since then. And with each and every trade I've taken since that week, I've been more and more fearful to enter a trade. So it's like every time I enter a trade, I'm afraid of losing. And I've been skipping a lot of winners because just being fearful of losing, and then I don't take the trade, and then I get frustrated that I'm not taking the trade, and then by the time I decide to take one, it's a loss, and then if you're only taking one trade a day, then that one loss you really feel it, and it's harder to make it up. So I've done some changes today. It wasn't a good first day for my changes, but let me get into that and explain what's going on here. So let me remove some of this from my screen and get into it. So you'll notice here I have a new account, which is number 24. It's an evaluation account. I won a free evaluation on the show Trader Bacon show on YouTube, and it's through Benzinga. And it's actually the second time I've won a free account. Using they do like giveaways, and you just enter your information, your email and your name, and they just randomly choose people and you win. And so they give you a free account for any size account you want. And considering it's 71% off only right now, I just decided to go ahead and get the $150,000 account. So this is the 150K. And the reason why I decided to do that was I really wanted, and I've been wanting to test out my NLTS strategy using runners. And looking back at my past wins over the course of the past 8, 9 weeks, there's been a lot of winners I've had that have gone on to have big moves, and I'm not capitalizing on the big move. I'm just getting my 8 or 6 tick scalp, and then that's it. And so when you run into a week of some losses, like I did a few weeks ago, it's just harder to make up those losses when you're just capped, when your wins are capped every time. So what I'm doing now is on the evaluation 24, I'm having that as my leader account. I'm trading 3 contracts for scalps and 1 contract for a runner. And the idea being to help me make up for losses a little bit quicker in the future. Now, today was the first day I'm doing that, and it didn't go well for me today. But again, I think it's just the nature of, today was a hard day to read. It was pretty choppy. And I think I just got stuck in this little area. I had 3 losses inside of 20 or 30 minutes. And I just got stuck in the chop. I had kind of the right idea for each of my trades. but the timing was wrong and in the wrong spot. And so got 3 losses there quickly. Actually, yeah, four losses, 1 win. So then I did get a win, and then I ended my day with a loss. Basically, when I had to stop for the day anyway. Let me zoom in and talk about these real quickly. So when I started my day, I started a little bit late. I was closer to about 7 o'clock when I started around here. And I pretty quickly noticed that it had kind of like a range-like feel to it. These lows were the same as these lows, and these highs were the same as these highs. And so I had this wider channel down, which kind of barely got a confirmation. So then when I saw this, and as I was signing on and putting the channels in place, I kind of figured that this very well could be a failed breakout and already a new low off this channel. And so it made sense that once we got back into this range that we would go to the highs. Now, I would have really liked this trade right here if I was paying more attention. Well, not paying more attention, but I was still kind of setting up for my day, and I wasn't really prepared or looking at what the signals were yet or anything. But I would have liked this for a Pat's entry, first entry long, second entry long after a new low, and confirming that we're back inside of the bigger channel or the bigger range. But I didn't see this, or I wasn't ready to take a trade yet or not. But anyway, what I did see, how I looked at this, and actually, now that I'm looking at this, it's kind of wrong, because to me, this is kind of first entry short, second entry short. Here's where the failure was. And I was taking this as a failed second entry short, counting this as a new low, but there's not really actually a new pivot here. So this might have been a misread, or just how I was looking at it. I looked at this as a new low and first entry short, second entry short, and I was looking for the failure, and I seem to have a channel up. I took it thinking we're heading back to the high. Clearly, now that I'm looking at this, I actually think this was first entry short, second entry short. Failure worked. I missed it. I don't know if I was ready or not to trade at this point. I'm guessing I wasn't, because I saw this pretty quickly. And so this might just be my own error. But again, what I saw was first entry short, second entry short. And I was expecting, to continue staying in this channel and continue to work my way back up to the top of the range. So then that failed. But what I had seen now was a break of this channel, and I got a PB set up on my Nlts strategy, and I didn't have this channel drawn this way. At the time, I was looking at a smaller range like that. And so that's actually why I thought the failed second entry short would be good, was to break out of this small little channel. We had a breakout on this side and figured we'd break out here. But look, it's actually like exactly the same breakout on this side as this side, and it came back in. So now that I'm seeing this after the fact, I'm seeing it a little bit more clearly, and I think this is probably not a good trade, but I'm glad I took it, because the thing I was telling myself when I started the day was come in and be more aggressive, and if you see setups, take them. So I took it. I lost. It wasn't a huge, it was 8 tick bar, so 10 tick stop. So it says I lost 2.75 points. Should have been 2.5 points, actually. But it looks like I lost two. Let's see. Yeah, I lost 2.75 points. So maybe I had some slippage, it looks like. So then I had a PB, and what I saw was I saw it like this now. So to me, it was breaking out of the range and good for a new high. And this is something I've got to be more aware of, and it actually bit me later on as well. But when there isn't room for the new high, and I'm going for 6 or 8 ticks, this one was actually good for, got in at 1450. and it made a high of 1575. So it was good for 4 ticks only. And the problem is, if I'm going for a retest of the high, there really isn't enough room to the highs to get my 8 tick scalp, 6 or 8 tick scalp. So I've got to keep that in mind, and really pay attention to the context. And that's why I'm drawing these channels in the first place. Also, by then is when, once I lost that trade, the PB, loss number 2, I saw this wider range, and I said, okay. So then I saw a first entry short, second entry short, and it was also a 1, 2, 3 triple test. And so I entered short. It was a 4 tick signal bar, so risking 6 ticks. And wouldn't you know it, it went up and got me out by 1 tick before it went to where I expected it to go to get my scalp. And so I got a third loss in a row. I should have known a little bit, because it's an inside bar, to be a little bit wary. But also, max rule on this is when you enter like this and it goes and engulfs immediately on a trade like that, you can move your stop to the previous swing high. And I don't know, my mind was so locked in on being willing to risk a 4 tick bar for 6 tick risk. And that's kind of the reason why I was willing to take the trade, was to risk 6 ticks. So my mind really didn't even go there to like risk more. I was already coming off the back of 2 losses. And in my mind, it was like, well, if it fails, it's probably going the other way, and I didn't want to risk more. So that was the risk. I entered the trade knowing that's what I was willing to risk. And that's exactly how much I lost to the tick before it went to work. So just kind of unfortunate here, this area for me. But I think these are things I can avoid in the future. I can avoid taking a trade if there's not enough room to make the new high. I can avoid taking a 3T second entry short on an inside bar. And also these PATS trade, I mean, I lose on these so much. This is a good example of like why I stopped trading PATS for a long while, because if when these work, Max shows them, it shows, oh yeah, it's a triple T, it's a second entry short, but then if this happens, he doesn't talk about it, or he says, oh, but then you should just move your stop to over here. So it's like, there's always a reason why, like, oh, that's a winning trade after the fact. You should have just known, or, whatever. So these are the kinds of trades that I've been losing on with PATS. So I do got to consider if I should stop trading PATS again. Because I really was overall doing better with my NLTS strategy up until the last few weeks. But if I'm not taking PATS trades, then today I would be 1 and 2. So a little bit better, but still losing. Anyway, so after I lost this trade, I had an LO set up. This was the LO bar, and so I entered when it went 2 ticks above it. And this one made me worry too, because we were breaking out, but it seemed like it was failing, kind of like at the midline area. And there was no channel yet when I took it. And I think I did at that point find this wider one, and at the time it was looking like this. So I forget if that was there or not when I took this trade. I might not have found this channel until after the trade. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's what happened. I found it after I was out of this trade. But let's see. Oh, it was up here somewhere. So anyway, I took the LO. It turned back. It gave me a little bit of a scare before it finally eventually worked. I was considering, I'm trying to reduce my risk on my NLTS strategy. So I was going to put my stop below this bar, because I've been testing and seeing that a lot of times if you just put it under the signal bar for my strategy, instead of going by the indicator, that usually it won't turn down. But in this case, it would have turned down, but I went and just used my normal stop. So my normal stop was down here. It was a big risk, but the setup was there. It made sense to me. I took it. It eventually ended up working. I had a runner on it, which got taken out here. And as you see, I was really hoping to get all the way to the top of the range again. at the time I didn't have this channel, I believe. And I just really was looking at the range and I was thinking, oh, this thing can go all the way up to here and I can get some back on my runner. Unfortunately, the candle pulled back, and I have a auto trailing stop that moves up like one tick at a time based on how many ticks up it's going. And so my stop was here at this point for my runner, and it came back down here. So I got 2 points for the runner and 2 points for the scalp. And then let's see. So by the time this kept going up and up and up and up and up, I just widened that channel, and it seemed like the midline was working, so I kind of went with it. The other thing that happened though was there was this wider channel which seemed to have overshoot, and there were some other like channels that worked and formed. I didn't see any trades in there, and I took a little bit of a break, and then I came back, and I had this channel down. I was saying I wasn't expecting to retest the high at that point, and it actually just barely broken out of the previous day's high and then came back in. And so I found this down channel, and so here I started looking for like a PB. I knew there was a PB getting ready to form, and I was expecting a new low or to test this low. Now there was a Pat's entry here, first entry long, second entry long, failure. It was also a first entry short, second entry short. I wanted to take this trade, but after losing a couple of Pat's trades earlier on, I said to myself, oh, well, if I skip this one and the PB happens, I'll take the PB. Now, when the PB happened, I should have paid more attention. This is, again, like what I talked about earlier, where my entry on the PB was at the extreme new low again. So that's already played out. And my stop was up here above the entry bar, the signal bar. And when this came down here and then came down again, it was like first entry, second entry short. So, and it was inside this channel. So I was expecting it to either work or fail right there. So when it started going back up, I moved my stop above what would have been the second entry short channel to reduce my risk, and got stopped out. Now I lost 2.25 points there. If I had stayed in, or if I hadn't moved my stop would have been above this bar at 44.30 up here, and my entry was at 26.25. So I was risking 3.75 points. If I had left my stop where I originally had it, it eventually would have worked and gave me my 8-tick scalp. So kind of mixed feelings here. I didn't even see that happen fully while I was still on. I had to stop around here anyways, and by the time I stopped, I was already late. But it is what it is. Like, I thought the momentum, what I've been seeing is that the PB or any of my NLTS strategy usually works after a PATS entry. So because I had the Pika here, it gave me confidence to take the PB here. And you see, it would have worked. It would have worked perfectly. My entry was 26.25 is my entry, and the low here is 24.25. So I would have got a 6-tick scalp on that before it turned. And my runner would have got out break even +1, most likely. Maybe I would have moved it a little bit further, but in any case, the scalp for the PB would have worked if I had just stuck with my original stop. So, I cost myself another 2.25 point loss by reducing risk. And so, I go back and forth with doing stuff like that. But for all I knew, it was going to go all the way up here, take me out here, and then still get the new low of this channel. So, you just never know. I think it was just an unfortunate day for me. So I stopped right here. I didn't see the rest of the day at all. I actually haven't even looked at this until right now. I'm looking at it. Looks like the channel broke and went for a new high twice. Wasn't able to do it. Who knows if there were any entries I would have taken in here. I'm not looking at it. So anyway, an unfortunate start to my new kind of plan for how I'm trading. But these 150K accounts have a 5,000 drawdown, so I still have 3,400 or so left of the drawdown. I still have some drawdown on my number 3 PA because I'm trading these. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I'm trading MES on all of my accounts except for the 150K eval. So that's why 4 losses only added up to, 4 losses, 1 win only added up to minus $190 today. And I just figured keep it alive as long as possible. And it allows me to trade the runner finally. And who knows, maybe, I started with a bad day, but maybe I could get some solid days in a row. The number 5 account is still fine. I have, about 900 on this one for drawdown, and then all the rest of my PAs I'm not trading, and this one have a couple $100 of drawdown. So I'm glad I'm trading the MES. I probably should have just been trading MES this whole time and trading this way with a runner, but just continuing to modify and change things. I think I just got caught up in some unfortunate situations today. Didn't feel too upset actually. I was more upset Friday with the way I traded, where I skipped so many trades and then took a loser at the end of the day. I don't like trading with fear, and I had gone over that a while back, and then all of a sudden, just I think because I'm showing everything on YouTube and I'm kind of in this rut right now for the last few weeks, I think I just started getting fearful of taking trades. And I firmly believe I can't trade that way. I don't think it's a winning formula to trade that way. And so if I see a setup, I have to take it honestly, regardless. Now I'm drawing these channels. If I see a setup that I like and it's Pats, I got to take the trade, even though I suck right now and I'm 43% in 7 trades using it on YouTube. I'm just going to take the trades that I see, and however this plays out is how it plays out. I've got a clean backup PA account that's untouched on this number 2, and I've got these number 1 and number 4 that still has a little room that I'm not currently trading, and I'm really just hoping to get 3 or 5 to a payout if I can turn this thing around. But no matter what happens, I'm not going to be out of the game one way or the other, and I do like trading this 150K account, and I'll probably get another one when the 90% comes back if I mess this one up. So that's it. I think that says everything for now. This was a longer review than I was anticipating, but I think what I'm doing are all the right things. I'm just kind of like, this is like the growing pains of like me figuring out how I want to trade this way, and I'm making adjustments. And I think for the long term, they'll turn into good things, good adjustments. I'm learning good things. My losses on my NLTS now, I'm finally seeing where the losses are in combination with, channels. And so context wise, I'm starting to see reasons why they might lose. I talked about this one with the new high, and this one was with the new low. So even though this one wouldn't have lost, ultimately would have won after a big pullback and scare if I had kept my stop where it originally was. These are the kinds of things you got to like decide how you're going to play them. And so I'm still sorting it out and figuring it out. And by no means am I a professional trader. So I'm just still learning and trying to figure out what the best way is for me to trade. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for watching. Like or subscribe if you like this content. Check out my live recording of the day to see how this all went down, how it looked live, how I was drawing things. And you'll see how I got stuck in some of these trades. And you'll see I even called out like, this second entry short failed second entry long. I should probably take it. And I thought I was playing it safe by waiting for the PB. But really I should have taken the first trade. I could have entered the second trade too. So that could have minimized some loss there. I would have got a win and a loss if I had done it that way. Or maybe I would have not moved my stop at that point because I got a win, and maybe I would have just held out for this to eventually win as well. So you never know. trading is like a sport. It's like what you do in the real moment versus when you think back and, oh, I could have done this or I could have done that. And I don't really have any regrets today. Today, I feel like I did the things that I came in wanting to do today, and it didn't work out for me for a green day. But I learned some lessons, and I'll take that with me moving forward. And I'll hope for a better tomorrow and a better week to come, and get back onto my winning ways, which is the first 5 weeks of YouTube. As dramatically different experience where I was just trading well. I was very limited trading, but I was getting good trades and it was being profitable. So there's ups and downs. I think the market's changed quite a bit, and I'm just gonna have to adapt. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, use the code if you're gonna use the code. The 71% still going for Apex. I would wait for an 80 or 90%. I'm sure it's going to come around Thanksgiving, Black Friday time. But if you need one, use it, or use another code if you have one. But I've said I'm done, and this time I'm done. Thanks for watching.